Namaste, Ram Dass. Thank you so much for allowing us into your home today. It's a very auspicious day today. It's Ram Navami, the birthday of Ram. Ram, 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 your love.
Ram, 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 Ram.
And it's your guru's main mantra. It's Ram, Ram, Ram. He spent his days, as you know, just writing Ram, Ram, Ram on every single piece of paper he could find. And thank you again. These videos that we do every year, this is our 11th year, by the way. 11 years we've been here with you every April. And this is shown all over the world. And people love it and have great experiences from watching these videos. I just got a call. I met some friends from Ecuador, South America, and he says he shows this all the time on his regular channel down there, and everybody loves it. They get a lot of inspiration from our talks. So rest assured that it's getting out to as many people as we can. So thank you for all these years that we're able to do this and be together. And I know we wanted to discuss some light issues today, nothing too heavy. So I'll get the heavy one out of the way, which is depression. Depression, yeah. It seems nowadays most people are experiencing a lot of depression about so many things, valid or not valid, in their lives. Political arena, the environment, their home life, their relationships, their kids, death, birth. Everything is bringing on depression. So people really don't know what to do with it. They think meditation will help. Opioids obviously didn't help. Alcohol or drugging the mind with alternative substances. It helps for like a minute or two in the big scheme. But what do you think about why so many people are so depressed, and some basic steps that we can take to alleviate that depression?
That's the mind.
How so you think it's the mind? It's coming from the mind? It's created from the mind?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So they're identifying with
their thought.
Their thoughts.
The thought of depression. I'm depressed is a thought.
So when it comes up, when that thought comes up,
you love it.
Love that thought.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I know last year when I had my prostate cancer, that's the first thing you told me when I broke the news to you. Love that cancer, love the prostate cancer. And when I hung up, I couldn't really grok or understand what you meant by that. But then as I looked at it and got deep into that understanding of what you said, I had a good experience about it.
Good.
Yeah. So, not to identify with that thought, but to love it.
Yeah.
And through that love, it dissipates, you think? the depression would dissipate or
Yes.
lessen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where do you take that thought? When you have that thought, it comes through this mental space. I'm depressed, I'm anxious. Once you love it, where does it go? Where do you take it next?
The heart.
Into the heart chakra.
Yeah. Yeah.
And expanding on that heart chakra through breathing or through some technique or mantra or
Ram, 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 Ram. That's expanding for that's expanding the heart chakra. And that's Ram, Ram, Ram. That's the one.
So
The one.
by practicing the mantra at that time,
Yeah. Yes.
you expand the heart more. So you get closer to the one.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Ram, Ram, Ram is the name of God is the one. Ram, 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 Ram.
That becomes the vehicle. The
Yeah.
mantra becomes the vehicle.
Yep. Yep. Vehicle for into the one.
The vehicle to drive you into the one.
Yeah.
And that takes your mind away from thinking about the depression.
Yep.
Because the mind is very tricky, as we know,
Oh, yes.
the trickiest. And it will keep you down in that depression. Because the ego wants you to stay in a depressed state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most people, even if you told them about the one and towards the one and the mantra, they might practice it for a little bit, but we're not strong enough to pull ourselves out of that depressed state because we're facing it on an everyday, constant barrage every single day. It's all around. It requires a lot of discipline. And the human nature is not one of accumulating a lot of discipline. It's too hard for the human nature to have discipline.
Discipline to rid oneself of depressed thoughts.
Right. And that's why people run to teachers, spiritual teachers, or gurus, and get into this trap of identifying with outside of themselves, that they're seeking something that a guru or a teacher, false or not false, self-styled teacher or guru, sees that. And today's day is just like all the other thousands of years where the teacher or the guru sees the student coming in that depressed state, in that needy state, and that's when she or he manipulates them. So my point being, not necessary to go outside of ourselves seeking these.
I traveled to India. Looking for a guru. That was a step a step to the inside Guru. The Guru is inside. Inside me.
Well, you were one of the rare people, I must say, I'll include myself in there if you don't mind, that had good experiences with their gurus. Worthwhile experiences that the guru didn't take advantage of you.
Well,
we had teachers along the way that we were taken advantage of course. But your main guru, Nim Karoli Baba, he wasn't like that for you. He pushed you in ways to make a better human being out of you, a more loving person. He didn't want anything from you other than to see you being happy.
yeah. Yeah.
That's rare. So today, for example, just this last year, John of God, 500 allegations against him, Prem Baba, and now Muji has a big thing against him now. And it comes back to the individual being in a depressed state, yearning for something on the outside to salve their depression, to tap them on the shoulder and say that you're a good person. But as you said, it can only come from inside.
Yep.
Or that inner love.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah, maybe we can close.
So in essence, what you're saying is, it's with us all the time, whether you have a guru or not, because that comes from the love inside your heart.
The Guru is love. And the Guru is in your heart. So we experience unconditional love. The spiritual love. In my life, I have conditional love. I was loved. A good boy, a good student, a good lover.
Those were conditional love.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't believe it when my guru gave me unconditional love. It was like he loved me. All of my sugar stuff.
No matter what.
Not a matter what, yeah.
But you didn't understand that unconditional love when it was happening.
That's right.
Because you were so conditioned on conditioned love from your past.
Yeah.
So when you got that, it might have been a little confusing, which can be the same with other people when they seek things from the outside.
they seek things about the outside because they're depressed.
And we live in a world of basic fear all the time also. All the environments and all the structures are predicated on fear. This is what the governments and the people in charge, they want to instill fear so there's more control. So it's so much more that an individual has to deal with besides just feeling fear of the unknown. They're experiencing fear from all around them as well.
I see the fear of death. That's a big one.
So what are you experiencing about that? Because I've been experiencing that same thing this past year myself. And it has been quite big for me as well.
Well, the fear of death is one part of me, and the other part, the soul, is not afraid of death. One keeps in the soul. That's the way, that's who you are. That's who you are.
When you say our fear of death holds us back from merging into the soul, does that mean the ego holds us back from merging into the soul? Or?
Yeah.
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 So then our fear of death, when we let that go, let the ego impression of that fear of death go and merge into the soul, we're ready.
We're ready.
Basically.
We're ready.
Yeah.
You and me, our souls and most people don't realize that identity. The soul has the witness. It witnesses the incarnation and the thoughts. The witness brings you into the soul.
Do you think that awareness of what you're saying can come from the teachings of a teacher or a guru that's able to explain it? Because you're explaining it now as a teacher, but when other people go out, and I've always believed in the guru-disciple relationship, same with you, we know how valid that is to have in your life. And that's where I think a lot of confusion comes in with students and devotees that are seeking advice or love from somebody else like that. If they were to tell them that they're the soul and they have to let go of the ego and merge into the soul, most students wouldn't be accepting that. I think they're looking for like this sudden ray that comes out from the sky that illuminates one into a better understanding, but it's not like that.
It's not like that.
Right. And that's where the discipline comes in. When you were just talking about the discipline, the mantra, and everything to eliminate the depression.
The witness has discipline. And you want to identify with your witness. The witness is ensconced in the soul. The soul has love, compassion, wisdom, peace, and joy.
Yeah. And love.
Yeah.
Yeah. From your
soul, you look around and you love everything.
Everything.
Everything. I'm looking at everything.
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 So that would be the best direction for eliminating the depression.
Yeah.
Getting back to that.
Yes.
Is to look at everything with love. Look at everything as the witness, and look at everything as love.
That's it.
Yeah. And then we won't have time to spend on our depression. And I think service is also a good part of that.
Yeah.
Helping other people, taking care of other people, keeps us from being in a depressed state also. Serving other people, honoring them.
Serving other people isn't action. Your being just radiates. And then you love them. You love from your being. You're not your doing. Your being radiates love. And that's the way you serve others.
So it's not necessarily the physical expression of the service. It's who you are in doing that service. Because just doing the physical act of service with the wrong mindset, as if, oh, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, aren't they great? So what you're saying is having that awareness and that love in whatever you're doing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there was a famous quote by Bertrand Russell. I like to just say it right now. You remember old Bertrand Russell. Fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wise people so full of doubts. Fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wise people so full of doubts. I thought that was very, very important. I wanted to touch on a couple more things before we go into our meditation, okay? So what do you think was your main experiences of your life? What were the most important main experiences of your life that shaped you into who you are today? There were many, but I'll just bring up a couple of them. Your experimentation with mind-altering substances, and your introduction to the guru-disciple relationships. And I know there was many, many others, but personally, for me, those are my two major pushes. My many years of experimentations, and I always seeked out people that knew more than me, just like you. Would you say that's a fair thought in how your life has been shaped?
Yeah. Yeah.
One more important than the other, or?
The psilocybin gave me a mind to look into spirit.
It opened the door.
Yeah. And that made me, once the door is open, I met the guru.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Psilocybin, I said, after the experience, I'm home, I'm home, I'm home. I saw that as home inside myself. The home was a different plane of consciousness. It was that time I was introduced to the other planes of consciousness that's the soul experiences. Yeah.
Would you say you were introduced to, but you didn't quite understand them until you met the guru?
Yeah.
Right. And the guru made it very clear through unconditional love.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Very profound. And that's why there's so much confusion, segueing back to the need for outside teacher or guru. That's why it's very confusing for so many people nowadays. so many of these self-styled gurus pop up. I go here, I go there, I go here, I go there. So it's very confusing. They latch on to somebody, and then they're disappointed. They're hurt.
Well, disappointed. That the chosen guru is human.
Right. And they all have to go to the bathroom every day. Right.
Yeah.
So you might want to say that when you're going to a teacher or a guru, don't go with any anticipation or any anxiety about needing something. Just go and soak up the love and the words and the understandings and put it through your own mill, your own grist for the mill. Right.
There are many self-styled gurus. That identity comes from the personality, or like, say, the ego.
Do you think that most of these teachers or self-styled gurus, most of them don't have a lineage to speak about? They make up a lineage. They say, oh, they might have seen a picture of this one or that one, and they say, well, I'm a devotee, I'm a disciple of. They've never met that of in their lifetime. So they can actually have a picture of anybody on their table and say, I'm in that lineage. And everybody reads about that person and says, oh, he's in that lineage. Ooh, that's fantastic. But that self-styled guru or teacher doesn't even understand what that lineage is, or never had the direct experience of that guru. Just made it up so people would follow them more easily. I think people have to be more discerning. That's where that word discernment comes.
Discerning.
Yeah, discerning. You need to be more discerning.
Discerning. Discerning.
You want to have a teacher or a guru, then question them. Don't let them get away with their shtick. Call them on it. And if you get kicked out, better for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh. I had a lot of false gurus, and Maharaji sent me to them. Because they were power brokers.
Power brokers?
Yeah. Because of my background, I was interested in power. I learned they were most powerful and they didn't have truth.
So they used you to a certain extent because you had the big name and they needed more recognition to a certain extent.
Yep.
Yeah. And you did your work there and you escaped the Game of Thrones ending.
Yeah.
As we get to some of our closing days, oh, happy birthday, by the way, on your 88th birthday. So fantastic. Thank you so much. Just last week or so. So how do you want to be remembered by everybody around you and all the students and all the people you brought so much enlightenment to over the years? And
I want to be remembered as the man who brought Maharaji into this culture. That's what I would be remembered for.
I'm sure we're going to remember that and many, many other things about who you are. But your devotion to your guru seems to be paramount.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to be.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. And I wish everybody could find that same peace and love, unconditional love, in their lives. Can we have a short meditation, Baba, before we finish? Could you lead us in a nice loving awareness meditation? Would that be good?
Yeah.
Okay. So if everybody can just sit quietly and sit up straight and close your eyes and
repeat the phrase, I am loving awareness. 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 Loving awareness. I am loving awareness. 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 The soul is loving awareness. I am loving awareness. 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 Awareness. Repeat that mantra. Repeat that mantra. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. It's the way from the mind to the heart. The mind to the heart. This journey, Ram, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And then halfway, loving awareness, loving awareness, loving awareness, loving awareness, loving awareness. And then you occupy the spiritual heart. Don't occupy the beating heart. Boom, 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 boom. And the emotional heart. Those are all the heart. And so the spiritual heart contains a doorway into the next plane of consciousness, soul land. There's a plane of consciousness between ego land and soul land, and that is the home of dreams and angels and bad people. In your imagination, it's named astral plane. The soul plane is populated by soul. Your soul and my soul. Maharaji and the Siddha yogis, like Christ and Buddha, they're on the cusp of soul land and the next plane, the one, the cusp of soul plane and the one. And then they beckon to us. Each of our souls has a doorway. Has a doorway to the one. that doorway brings us to the One and to the Guru. Go through that doorway. When you identify with the One, the One is love. God is love.
Beautiful meditation, Robert. Thank you so much. Certainly wonderful to spend some time with you again. Life is so short. These beautifully sweet moments makes it all worthwhile. And you have made such sweetness for so many people around the world. On behalf of Bhakti Fest and the Bhakti Fest community, I want to express my love and sincere appreciation for what you have brought to everybody. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much love and so much joy. And I'm so happy to be able to sit here after this year between both of us, and we're able to share time together again.
This year has been suffering, suffering, suffering for you and I. Suffering is grace, is the steps of our sadhana. It's all grace. It's all grace.
For me, through the process, I realized karma over DNA, but grace over karma. And for me, I felt that was what my illness brought up to me. Beyond the DNA aspect, it was the karmic aspect. But when I went through it, what came from that was merging deeper into the grace.
Into the grace.
Into the grace, yeah. So I feel very blessed by going through so much suffering. And only when you go through that suffering by yourself, which is what we did, no matter how many loving, wonderful people around us, it was still us that had to go through the situation.
Yeah.
Nobody else went through it.
Yep.
And we merged out into a beautiful state of grace that permeates our life, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I think from our devotion to the true aspect of the Guru, that grace comes through. Without that,
Yeah.
we would just remain in the suffering. We would just remain in the depression.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all grace. It's all grace. It's all grace. When I was in the hospital past week, I thought, this is grace.
Thank you, Baba. You know, we've been friends for 49 years. 49 years since 1970, Labor Day weekend. And I hope to be back next year to celebrate our 50th year of friendship.
I hope so too.
Thank you, Baba.
I hope I can be back.
Both of our sakes, thank you. We will be.
We will be.
We will be. Much love.
Much love.
Thank you.